In this section, we are going to start working with ChatterRest API. So we will see what ChatterRest API is, what is the benefit of using ChatterRest API. So let's quickly talk about what ChatterRest API is. ChatterRest API is used for enabling the collaboration between a users or a group of users. So when we say that we wanted to have the users to share their ideas, to share some text messages among them, or they can also transfer some files privately with the help of some kind of we can also say the files that are very secure, that needs to be transferred privately, that can also be transferred using the ChatterRest API. Now what is the benefit is, like when we actually use, so suppose that you are trying to build a mobile application, you are trying to build a mobile application which is actually used for this purpose, where users can share their ideas, they can share the files, they can share some private message, how they can communicate, and they are using Salesforce license. The key here is they are using Salesforce license. Now you have two options. If you wanted to have some kind of messaging functionality, or you wanted to have some kind of this chatting functionality, either you can go and adopt for an external messaging system like Twilio. That is the other, which is going to cost you further. no ma- uh, I'm not sure what about the costing for that, but that is definitely going to cost you, and per user that is going to be the cost. But ChatterRest API is something which is available by default for every Salesforce org. Even for the free Salesforce Developer Edition, you can have approx 5,000 users who can have that Chatter profile, and they can do the collaboration. They can start messaging among them. That means you can completely build a mini forum where user can come and they can just start collaborating, sharing their ideas. That is one thing that you can do, which is very great feature for ChatterRest API. Other thing is that you have some kind of external third party system, which is a web application. Whenever user is trying to log in with the help of a Salesforce, you can just notify about the event, like this is what the event happened. Even not only for the login, you can also notify to the group of users. Suppose that I created an opportunity, you can quickly run the code behind the scene of the ChatterRest API, and you can notify a group of users saying that, hey, this is the new opportunity which has been entered into the system. Would you like to work with this? Would you like to take an extra step or take few next step with this opportunity and see if you are able to close this? So we can just send them a message where they can just go ahead, quickly have a look about that opportunity and try to close that opportunity for the business. That is one thing, one other thing that you can do. And then what you can have is you can also build some kind of external system or some kind of intranet site where your users are authenticated with the help of a Salesforce, with kind of some social login or some kind of some Salesforce SSO. You can just enable them and they can again try to start sharing their thoughts over there, and this is not going to cost any extra for you. Now let's talk about what could be the benefit for this. The first thing, like we talked about what is, we talked about why, and now let's talk about we talked about when, now let's talk about why. Right, we wanted to know what is the benefit. So let's quickly, I'm going to give you a very simple example over here. Suppose that you are working in an environment where you are working with 10 people, where your team size is 10. This is very small team size that I'm just elaborating over here. Now you are working, you got stuck somewhere, you need help from a people or a group of people. What you will do? You have plenty number of options, like you can just email them, you can do a personally paying them over different social media channels like Slack or Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Skype, or you might wanted to use Google Hangout based on what your organization is using. Now, suppose that they responded you, what you are going to do is you are again going to switch your screen from where you are actually working to the screen where they have responded, either email or any messaging application. Now you are just going back and forth to your Salesforce coding or anything that you are performing, to your Salesforce screen, to messaging, Salesforce to messaging, Salesforce to messaging. That's how you are going to do, right? Now this is kind of irritating thing. I'm again just going to the different screen, reading what they have said, and then try to implement that. Now what if I found a way where I can read in one screen and then I can just do the same screen, like no need to switch my screen again and again. That can be achieved with the help of this ChatterRest API. And when we talk about in terms of productivity, we can increase up to 10% productivity of every other developer, Salesforce admin, sales rep, or service rep, any user who is working with Salesforce. So that's a good number if we can increase the productivity of any sales representative or anything, any user who is working inside Salesforce. Now let's talk about what all we have included inside this course. So we have uh, I have gone through with this API. This can do a lot more things that we can do. So we have just tried to pick out some important that we can do, important operations. So what we are going to do is, first thing that we are going to see is how we can get the feed items for any, either a record or a group or a particular user, and how we can get those feeds we are going to see. And then going further for the rest step, what we are going to do is we will see how we can create a chatter post for a record, where either you can mention to a user, mention what is the requirement for mentioning, right? You are working again, you got stuck in some site of tickets. So what you can do is you can just go ahead, mention that user saying that, hey, this is what the problem I'm facing. Could you please help me out that? Or what you can do is you can just go ahead and say that, hey, I'm done with my part. Let's go ahead. Now it's your part. Just go ahead and finish that. So these kind of things we can do with mention, right? And then after we are going to talk about how you can reply on a particular chatter comment. Now I chatted posted you, hey, saying that, hey, this is ready for testing. Let's go ahead and perform some testing from your side. Now the tester is going to perform some testing, and then he found something or tester found something. What tester is going to do is, hey Amit, this is what I found in this code. Could you please look into this? Right? So that is how you are going to have a threaded discussion, and that is where we can just put this. So that is what we have put over here as well, how we can reply to that. And then we talked about this mobile application, where we are building a mobile application. So that kind of functionality again we are going to build over here, where you can just try to send some message to a user, and that user replies you, again you reply some to that user. That is how we are going to do, like how you can do a threaded conversion through the private messages instead of having at a chat level, right? Sometimes you wanted to share some thoughts, some personal things that you wanted to share with your closed ones, that you can do with private messages. And then we talked about groups, how you can create a chatter group, how you can post inside a chatter group, again how you can reply to a post in the chatter group. All those we are going to see there. And then you can also see how you can like a post. And unlike every section, every API, we have got the assignment for this section as well. So we have got 3 to 4 assignment. That is also going to be exciting part of this as well. So this is all about we have included in this ChatterRest API, and from the next lecture onwards, we are going to actually do the implementation part. So we'll see you into the next lecture. Thank you.